Okay, we're starting recording. We're on the training on charting. That's what we're going to go over tonight. A little bit on the Ranger, but more on charting. I sent out an update to everybody today for the 1.8 version on Ranger indicator, and it is working awesome. It's working really good. So if I change this back to 100 tick just to let it see what it's doing. And what happens is at 8 o'clock, I've got this on the Australia Open. That's what I've got it on. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of this. I can post a video or a link to the training course on, let me find it here. Sure, I had that pulled up. But I'll post a link to the training course that goes over that in detail. So for the people that have been here, for the last several days, you already know how it works. And I'm going to touch on it just a little bit, but if you want to know the details of how this particular indicator works, then I will post that link. This is several videos. Right there, you can see all the information on it. Hey, Dennis, how you doing, buddy? I was wondering who Tulane was. Glad you made it, buddy. Glad you made it. So you should be able to learn a lot tonight. There is the way this indicator works. Let's just go over my settings real quick. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. But we have the Ninja or the range indicator 1.8. You can see right there. And I've got this set on my settings that I like. Right now, I added the UTC times on this. That way, it's easier to find what your time zone is. If you know like I know mine is a 5, so -5, so I can find it quicker. So I added that to make it a lot easier for everybody to find, because the alphabetical order just wasn't working, and so everybody knows. Well, most people know what time they're in, so that'll help. And also, the one of the users noticed that if you pick Central Time, that this time wasn't working right. Now these times are in sync; they work really good. So if you pick like right now, it's 20 to 2010, and if you go to Hong Kong, it'll be 2130 and 2140. So everything works really good now. Also, I'm going to go over how I set up my indicators over here. And if you want a screenshot of them or something, I guess I can post them in there. And I think I can. And this is what I use. So you can slow this video down. You can look at these, and I'm going to go ahead and drop it down real quick. So right there's my fibs I'm using. I delete, like some of these things, the labels over here, I don't need to see like this, a yellow line. I don't need to see that is a open range high. So what I do is I delete those letters out of here so that it doesn't show over here, because I don't need them. The less on this chart, the better you are. But you still need to have your levels. So I delete the caption, the labels that I know that, like the yellows are the open range. And then if you come down here, delete the pre-market high label and the low. I know where they are. The red lines, I don't need to have that on there. I leave my mid and close because sometimes I forget what those are. And then my current session, I leave those on. And let's just go ahead and go down here. I take my previous day high off because I know the blue is what it should be. Actually, I have this set on H and L. That way, if I see the blue one, sometimes I don't know if it is the high or low, so I'll use this. So H for the high, I know blue is the previous day. And then your stop ticks, I've got my default at 20 because I usually trade RTY. That's my game. I love it, RTY. As far as the stops or the risk reward, I don't need the 1 and I don't need the 3, but I do want the 5 and I want the 8. Actually, I do want the 3. The 3, 5, and 8, those are my defaults that I want to use. Now my long entry and long stop, I don't need that. That is the green line off of the yellow right here, and that is the red line, red dotted off of there. So I don't need to show those. So what I did was I deleted the labels, but I've got them turned on. And then I come down here, all of these risk reward, I like to leave those on there. I only use the ticks and the currency on my labels, and I like to see it on the left side and the right side. And again, if you haven't seen this before about the Ranger, then just watch those videos in the link I sent and you'll understand it better. So I leave that, leave my Fibonacci pivots on, and I leave my floor trader pivots on. And the Fibonacci pivots are stationary, so they work off of previous days' numbers, price, and everything. And the floor trader works off of your current. So I really trade more of the floor trader pivot than I do the Fibonacci, and I may turn Fibonacci completely off because I like these better. I changed mine to FPP, so I know it is floor trader PP. And I can't see it over here right now, but on the floor trader pivots, they're always on the right side. On the Fibonacci pivots, they're on the left bottom. So you can tell what they are. So you can change this the way you want. I'm just showing you what I have done. This one right here, we are going to call this one RTY20. And the reason I call it that is because it's RTY and it's going to be a 20 tick. We come down here. All of these I leave just the way they are. That's the way I like them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save this. And we're going to call this RTY20. So I'm going to overwrite that one. And that puts it where I want it. Now, this right here, I'm going to show you. You can't see it right now, but see the RTY20 right here? This label? I'm going to show you what that does. If you come up here, it shows it right there. If you call it RTY20, if you're on this chart, you'll be able to easily recognize what you have the Ranger indicator set to. So if you got RTY20, you know it's a 20 tick RTY. If you call it an NQ60, you know it's an NQ60. Excuse me. So that's an easy way for you to look at the chart and know what you're doing. So let's go ahead and go to RTY because that's what we have it set up on. Now RTY in the evening is works a little slow, and I will usually go to a 50 tick in the evening. Sometimes I'll even go to like a 15-second or so because I'm just looking to scalp it. I'm looking to see if we get below this yellow. So I'm going to open this up a little bigger so you can see it. When we get to 2010, which would be right here, that would be the 10 minutes of the open range is closed. If we look at this green line, you notice I have the labels gone on the green and the yellow. I don't need them. For me, it's fine. Let's see here. Off-topic question. How do you set up your tools on the left-hand side? Very easy. You go to indicators up here. You scroll down. You go to drawing tool. So once you click on that, you double click it, and I've already got it down here, so I just clicked it. Now here's something I do. When you open it, it's going to look like this. But if you click on drawing tools, you can check mark everything you want. The number one drawing tool tonight that we're going to talk about is PAYOUT channel drawing tool. And you won't have that unless you purchase it tonight. But this is going to be a game changer. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I have it. I put it at 20 at the top, and that makes it go 20 deep. It's 5 normally, and so which means it'll come down 5, and then it has to do another 5, and a 5, and a 5, and a 5. I make mine 20. You can change your label. I don't want this up on top, so I just delete it. And these are all of them that I have checked to make it look like mine. So you can copy that down. The other thing, let's see, there was one other thing I think I do on here. No, that's it. So that's how I get those drawing tools on there. Very simple. I'm in the process of making one that will go across the top and across the side. And that'll be, within a month I'll have that done. And it's going to show a lot more features, a lot more to do. It's going to be a really, really good drawing tool. You're welcome, babe. So right now I've got my setting or my labels turned off. Now see how I have 38.2, 23.6, 15.3. I'm going to show you this. And this is just something I've been playing a lot with on the indicators to be able to do what I want. The label right here, I've got mine. I put the numbers in. I don't need to see OR fib 1. Now the reason I do that as a default is because a lot of people don't know what the pink line is. But once you know what it is, then you can go ahead and put in your numbers or whatever you want. Now for me, I just need to know which fib that is. I don't need to know it's number 3 or 4 or whatever. I want to know what is the measurement of that Fibonacci. Now, these fibs up here, you can change those and make them anything you want. When you change them, they'll change on the chart. And then you label what you want. So that's how I have mine set up. So from the default settings that you all have, you will see that my chart is cleaner than the regular default. Okay? And the reason mine is because I went in and changed it. I don't need to see a lot of information. I just need to see what I need to see. So I've got my floor trader resistance pivot up here, number 3, number 2, number 1. And then I've got number 1 support, 2, and 3. And then I've also got my low on the L, that is previous day low. So I have really downsized a lot of information here, and by doing so, when I get like CS high, it's not messing up with the others so much. So it actually works better. So when you start cleaning up your settings, you will notice there's less on this chart. All I care about is the current session low, pre-market low, and the current session and the pre-market is going to be the same right now. And as far as the current session is going to be white, the pre-market is red. Pre-market's red, current session is white. The red covers up the white, and that's why you only see one. But if I had the letters up here, it would be CS high and PM high on top of each other, and you wouldn't be able to read it. So if I see the red here and here, I know that that is a high and low. So that's how I have it set up. It works really well for me. It may not work for you, but it works really well for me. So let's talk about some charting. A lot of people have trouble charting. They don't know really where it's going or anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and go to 1 minute. And I'm going to take this indicator and I'm going to turn it off. Now, one thing you can do is you can come here to visible right above all the colors and check mark that. And then when you check it, it goes away. So you have a clean chart, but you didn't delete your indicator. Your indicator is still there. You just got to make it visible. So when you look at this, you think, what in the world am I going to do? So let's go ahead and delete all this. I don't need all that on there. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let me show you this. No, that's not the right one. I don't need to do that one. I had it on there for today, but today it ended up making almost $3,000 from 2 o'clock till the end. It was pretty good. So, how do you know where this is going? And a lot of people have trouble drawing channels. They can't get the right, should they use the wick, the body, or whatever. And they have a lot of trouble with it. So, I can look at this manually, and I can see that we're going sideways here. This is a range, okay? So, when we're doing a range, we can go like this, and we can see that's a range. But where is it going from here and stuff? And that's where people have trouble. So we're going to talk about the SpyBot channel drawing tool, which is, I've got it here, but you can go up here and get it, but I've got it on my drawing tool. So what you do is you start from the pivot. So this right here is going sideways. So we come down and then we went sideways. So we know that right there is a channel. Now what did I just do, you say? Well, what I did was I clicked right here and then I just started dragging. See how it automatically finds the channel? And then once you find the channel, you click again, and there you are. So right now, when you have a V shape that's in pretty close to the same distance and so forth, you have it right. So right now, we know that this is a channel. So what we could do is we could, when it goes up here, the first one, we wouldn't do anything. When we come down here and start bouncing, we might go long. When it goes up here, we're looking to get out right there, or to at least move our stop up really close so that we can possibly get out right here. So when it goes up there, we're going to put our stop and we're going to bang right there. We're just going to click and let it set. And by doing that, if it keeps on going, we're fine. But if it pulls back, then we made money. So on this one, on this particular drawing tool, what do you do next? Once you break out of that channel, you're on a new one. So what you would do is come all the way back to right here. Just one candle past where the last point was. Then you grab it again, and you grab it there, and you go right on up. Now you can drag it over here. You don't have to go up there. So once all you're doing is this line up and down, you're looking to go ahead and get in. So what you want to do is, and I'm going to show you in a minute, but you want to drag this all the way over here past the price. But if you're looking for a past channel, this is how you would do it. You just move it over until you see that you have these lines are drawn pretty good and it's staying in the channel. Well, you're thinking, well, that's fine and dandy on the past, but how's it going to help me right now? I'm trading right now. I'm not trading the past. So I'll tell you what, let me grab NQ because it's got more volume right now. Let's see, where is that? There it is. NQ's got a lot more volume. So right now, we know that we had this channel here. Matter of fact, I was in that. I took that trade earlier. So right there, really, that is our trade. So we have a channel going right up here. Now you think to yourself, well, NinjaTrader has a channel in drawing tool. It sure does. It's right there. But the problem is when you click on it, you have to find your spots, and then you got to drag this down, and then you got to try to manipulate it in order to make sure that where it is. And then when you do, then all of a sudden the candle moves, and then you're out of it. So then you got to redraw, and it's just a pain in the butt. Plus, you've only got 2 lines. You need 3 lines in a channel. So you've only got 2. You can't put 3 on it. This one has 3 lines. I made it especially for that. Now here's the big kicker. Here's where it's going to make your trading better. So right here, you know that it stopped there, so you're going to go ahead and add another one there, and you're going to drag this over until you see that it's in a channel right here. But now we broke out. What do we do now? We go ahead and click there, and then we go past the price. Past the price, you say? Well, if you go past the price, we don't know where this is going. Is it going to bounce here and then come up? We don't know. It may go ahead and just keep on going down. It may bounce here and then keep going up. As long as you move this out past it, see how it's not moving? But as this price moves, the channel will move. So if it keeps going down, this channel will move down with it. If this keeps going up and then it hits here and bounces, it'll stay where it is. But if it goes through that, this channel will move up. So when you're trying to figure out where your channel is, it's really difficult to find, mainly because you don't know where it's going and you're constantly moving that channel. This way you don't have to. Now on this one, you would have had this line right here. Actually on this one, you would have had this line all the way over here. And then as soon as it broke, to where you actually found a channel that was working pretty good, then you would go ahead and bring that line back to where it is. And then when it breaks out, you would start a new channel. Does that make sense? Am I saying this correct? Hey, Craig. Does everybody understand what I'm saying about the channel? I want to make sure I'm explaining and everybody's understanding. Anybody? Put your fingers to the typing. Let's go. You don't understand. Okay, so what part don't you understand as far as is it the entry and exit of the channel, or is it the trading of the channel? What part don't you understand? Because what we're doing is we are trying to find the channels, and since this one here, and we brought it all the way over, as soon as this thing started showing a good consistent channel, know how to draw. Okay, so what you do, let me start back here. I want to make sure everybody understands. The only thing we do is we open up the drawing channel. So as you see the little drawing tool on my cursor, we go back to the last place that we stopped, which this line right here is where we stop. So we start right there, and then we just go ahead and move it sideways. And then when we find a channel that is actually working, which is right there, that one is, we click again and stop. Now, this is showing a good channel right here. And then we broke out right here, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to click again at the same line that we left off on. And then I'm just going to go sideways. And I'm going to go past the price. The reason I'm going past the price is because we don't know where it's going. So I'm going to go past the price, and I'm going to click. And then when we actually decide where the channel is going, then we will be good to go ahead and go. In this particular case, it bounced right there. So we've got 3 points. We got one here, here, and here. Actually, we've got 3 points right off the top. So that's a good steady line. So this one's going sideways. With it going sideways, we're not going short or long. Quite honestly, most of you should not even trade here. We are at 299 to 316. So you're looking at 17 points, which is a lot of money. You can make a lot of money on 17 points. That's $340 a contract. That's a lot of money. But what you would do is you would enter right here. So when it comes down and hit that, and then it bounced up, you would try to get in your entry down here. So your entry is going to be about right there. Now, if this was a channel where it was going up and down, you would have your buy order in here and have a tight stop. So if it actually come through, you would have a stop so that you wouldn't get stopped out on. So your stop, let's see, that's at 99. So you'd come down, say maybe 3 points or so. It's only $60 a contract. Put your stop right there. Your entry would be here. And then right here is the goal that you're going. But I would put my profit target up here. So if my profit target was up in this area, and I'm not saying for sure where up here, because we don't have any support and resistance or anything up here. But what I would do is I would be chasing my stop. So now my stop, I'm going to go ahead and drag my stop up to right here. So I'm going to secure this profit right here. If this would all of a sudden come down, I'm secured. Now when this candle closes and opens another one, I'll bring my stop up to the bottom of that one. Okay? So, but we haven't done it yet. So right now our stop is right here. So when we break, this candle right here closes and we open another one, we'll come to the bottom of this wick. That's how you trade a channel. No, I'm not drawing a fib leg. This is actually just a channel. I'm starting at the last one, and then I drag it over here. And as this price moves, this channel will move. I wish we were actually moving quicker so I could show you, but it's not. Now, we closed out right there on that one. Now we're pulling back, so we leave our stop right here. If we get stopped there, we take this a little bit of profit. That profit would be $115 a contract. Okay, so right now we have $115 a contract if we get stopped out here, less, a few ticks or so. The drawing tool is in the chat. Does everybody see all the chat, even the late people? It's on my website, and you get 20% off with the coupon. So I'm hoping that that chat shows all that information, because I normally don't put it up that quick, but I did tonight. So look in the chat log and tell me if you see, for the late people, if you can see all those links that I posted. But there's 20% off through midnight tonight on my website for that. So right now, we are looking for this thing to go up and close. And if it does, we're going to move our stop right to the bottom of this. I'll make this a little bigger so y'all can see it better. So this is how you play the zone, or the, not the zone, but the channel tool. This is how you play it. And this is what I'm used to doing. I scout. That's all I ever do. Now, right there, we got stopped out. We took $115 roughly. And it's not. Okay, let's see here. Let me see what I can do here. So I will make this one for there. That is, let's see here. There. And the chat is on that little dialog box that you all have. And here is the discount coupon. Sorry for all the people that were here on time. I want to make sure everybody gets this. Maybe it's better I just wait till later to post this. So there's one, then there's this one. I'll start posting it later instead of early. That should be all the information that you need. So the chat should be on a little tiny dialog box, and you'll say chat. You click on that, and you'll see everything. And it should have popped up when I sent all that. Okay, great. So right now, it came down, it stopped us out, and then it took off again. Okay, well, we can't afford to leave our stop down here on when we're trading a channel. You have to chase your candles because it can easily pull back on you. In this particular case, when it pulled back and stopped there, maybe you took the profit right there. It's up to you. So now let's go ahead and go back and show you what it's doing. So I'm going to put this on a very small tick chart just to make it move. Okay. So let's see if we can make something move here. So I'm going to delete these out. And let's just delete all of our objects. And for people that don't know, if you've got a lot of stuff on there, instead of clicking on each one, go to your drawing tool, go to remove all objects, and it will just remove everything on your chart. So let's make it connect here. So let's go ahead and add this drawing tool, and we're at the bottom of a pivot here, and then it's coming back up. So we're going to do this. So as this moves, actually, I'll put it past it. As this moves, you're going to see that if this comes on down, the channel will move down with it. And if it goes on up and goes past there, then it will go up. Now watch right here. If it drops below this, you'll see this channel move down. But honestly, that is the channel right there. That is it. You've got a point here, you got a point there, you got a point there, and that line in the middle, you can see the candles interacting with it. So that is a good channel. Now this is on the 10 tick, so it's a very, very small. So if we move this over to like a 10-second or so, let's do a 5-second. Now, I wouldn't trade this, but I'm just trying to show you how this works. Vicky, I'm sorry, I can't help right now. I'll have to help later. It's the chat is on a little box. You click on it, there's the chat there. If anybody else wants to help, that's fine. I got to keep teaching. So right now we're pushing up. If we push past that, you'll see the blue go right on up, and I hope we do, just so that we can see it move. Now I've got this on a 5-second, and keep watching. Because I have this line all the way over here, there when it moved. And we saw the extra line come in. Now, if I take this line and move it back over here, then it will work off of where, from here to here. See how it pushed through? Now, if I push this over, you'll see the blue line will start moving up. See there? See how it's moving? Now, if I had left this over here, then it would have moved with it, and that makes it a lot easier for you to find the channels. Once you see that the channels come into play, then you just come back and move it right to there, like one candle back past the price. That way it will stop moving, and then you can just play this channel. When it breaks out of it, then you go ahead and start your new channel. So like on this one, I wouldn't do it right here, but you can start right there and then move this over. This is actually drawing another channel right here, and as this would go up and down, this blue channel will move up and down. So once you've determined that that is your channel, bring that line back this side of price, and then you can draw another one and you can watch this one start moving. So that's how you can kind of find where your channels are. Now, I wouldn't do this until your candle comes out of this channel. That's when I would do it. When it comes out of that channel, that's when I would start. And you want to start on your pivot. And what I mean by pivot, you can see this is down and then it starts going up. So right here is your pivot. So start at your pivot and then work itself up. And that's how you use this channel. Does everybody understand that? It's real easy to use. Once you start using it, it's much easier. Now, what we're going to talk about now is, let's go to a 5-minute chart. And a 5-minute chart is, you'll have to rewatch the video. I'm sorry, I can't stop here. I got to keep moving. So on the 5-minute chart, you're going to have different levels here, okay? And a lot of times you'll see chop. And this chop is called chop zones. That's what I call it. Let's go back to a 1 minute. You can see it better. So you have chop zones. And when you find a chop zone, you'll be amazed at what you see later. So we have, it would actually be right there and then come right here. This is called a chop zone. We're just going up and down. We're playing a channel, right? So by playing this channel, you want to find where it could go. So what you do is you come up here to the horizontal line. You draw one right here. And you draw another one right there. Then you take this and drop it down. You put it right on the bottom of that line. And you go ahead and draw another one. Then you bring this one down. And you draw another one. Then you take this one up. And you draw another one. Now, we've got our chop zone in here. Now let's go back and look and see how this played out, if that particular chop zone played out. Well, we can see that we played in right here. We come right down into the chop zone, come right back up, down, down. So these act like support and resistance lines. It's going to go over and it's going to go under. But for the most part, those are support and resistance lines. See how we hit that one perfect? We come down here, we played right into it there, we dropped out, but we come right back into it, come right up here, come up to here. So these are chop zones. These are something that you can actually draw out yourself. So when you see that we're in chop, just go ahead and draw your chop zones. So if you run this one on up, then you can go ahead and come up here and click on that. You come up here, click on another one. Now, we don't know where anything is other than this right here, right? So now let's go back and look. See how it all played out. Right there's our resistance levels. Here's our support. Here's our resistance and support. Look how these played out. Right to the tick right there. So when you find range, all you have to do is draw your horizontal box. And then you put your horizontal, draw your line on top of the box and the bottom of the box. Move your box on top of the line, draw another one, you keep on going. This one right here, we're going to just go ahead and make another one right up there. Now this is not 100% exact, but if you're looking, you know, if it's in range and you don't know where it's going to go, and it looks like it's kind of stair stepping up, you can draw these chat zones, and whenever you draw them and then put your lines, you can put your profit targets at different places in order to find that. So look how this interacted with everything. We come right down to the top here, riding it through here, and we can just keep on going with this. We can draw it right on up. Again, this is not 100%, but it really gives you a good idea of where you're going. Do I draw these whenever I am trading? Not all the time, but I do them often. If I draw if I'm in a lot of chop areas, and I said chat a while ago, it's chop zone. When I'm in the chop zone, I will draw this out, and I will trade between here sometimes if there's enough room. If there's enough room for risk reward, I'll trade it. So now let's go ahead and look back. So now we've got, and we didn't know where any of this stuff was, but we hit right there, we hit right there, we hit perfectly right there. This has been a very good support resistance right there, here, and it just keeps on going. You can draw these all day long, and they will just work out. So if we put this on at 5 minutes so we can see more of the chart. And let's go on back in time. Okay. Now you got to think, we drew these right here. Now let's go in the very back. We're still hitting these areas right to the tick. Imagine that. Y'all, anybody know about how to do those chop zones? So I teach this in courses. There's a lot of information I teach in courses that I won't teach everything here, but if you take the course, you'll actually learn a lot more. On this one here, if we went ahead and made another one, say right there, we'll go up. Look at that, right through there, right on it. So you can actually draw chop zones. Once you determine where the chop zone is, you can make a lot of these lines. Go back. Let's see here. If we go back a little bit, say a 30-minute candle, and look at these, you can see how price interacts with these chop zones. It's, I mean, just all over. It's amazing how price interacts with the same levels everywhere. And it's not about the chop zone necessarily. A chop zone is created between a support and resistance. That's all it is. It's not really, they're not planning on a chop zone per se. It's just a support and resistance line before the buyer or the seller, or the buyers and sellers, determine who has the most money and is going to drive the price. You look right here, you know, it drove up, pulled back down to it, drove up, drove up, drove up. Every time it hit one of these lines, it'd end up pulling back a little. So right here, we we hit it, we pull back down, then we go all the way down. If I drew these lines, I mean, they would be pretty much right on where it is. This is a 30-minute chart. And then we went ahead and pushed up, went up to here, went up to there, come back. I mean, it just interacts with that all together. So does everybody understand the chop zones, how they work, and how you draw them? Pretty good stuff. A lot of free information tonight. So this right here is money. It don't tell you the direction that's going, but it tells you where, if it breaks out, it tells you where it's going. And then you have this one. Good. I'm glad someone actually got something out of it. If you take this one, then you can draw this out. So this will tell you direction. If you've got your chop zones in there, now this is a 30-minute chart. Right there would be the that would be your channel right there. So you come up here, you're coming down right there, you got one there, you got one there, and then we broke out here and then started going sideways. This one is coming down, right? So once you get there and you're done with this one, you can even just take this and just draw it right on over. You don't have to make a new one because you're done with this one. Once it breaks out, you're done. It's in a video, Patrick, so you'll be able to watch it later. I won't go back over it, but you'll be able to watch it in the video later. There's links that I've already posted that will tell you where to go. And this one, you know, as it's trading, you're going to have this all the way over here, like we said earlier. And then as this starts trading, then you'll watch it. And then once you get your actual channel, then you'll leave your position here. When we break out of it, what we do, we come right over here, and then we just add it over here. So now on the 30-minute, this is our channel, right? Looks like those red lines are spaced about 50 points each. Those are worth 1,000 on NQ. I don't think it's that far. Maybe they are. Let's look here. We'll just take 1 to there. $880. Yeah, that's money, buddy. If you just traded that. Now let's take this back down to, say, a 1-minute chart. So if you just drew out your chop zones and traded from one to the other, it's like a zone, really. It's really just like a zone. And you could just go ahead and trade it. But when you come up here and you have this sideways action, it's not the best. So let's draw. Again, this is not 100%, so it's not true, 100% support resistance, but because it's going to be based on the user actually drawing out the actual chop zone. So your chop zone might be here, mine might be down right here, but it's still pretty close to where you need to be. But if you can pick out your chop zone, you're fine. Like right here, we went right along that chop zone, and then all of a sudden we shot up right to the next one. And then went it sideways, now we're coming down. So now we're waiting on this to decide what it's going to do. I found this by accident. I was probably, I don't know, 6 months ago. I love charting. Anybody that knows me knows I love it. And the one thing about charting is I'm a very visual person. So when I look at this, I see more than candles and a black string and red lines. I mean, I'm just something about it I see more. And I started kind of drawing out a chop zone, because when I'm trading, if I see one, I will bring this up and then maybe come in here and draw this out, and then I'll have my buy order in right above it, and then if I hit it, then I'll put my stop right below it. So what happened was when I did that, I looked back and I noticed that it looked like the same amount of space back there. So I took it and drew my line and moved it, and then I started doing this, and I thought, holy crap. I've never seen anybody do that. I've never seen anybody train on it. Not saying they haven't, but I've just never seen it. So right now we're playing between this zone. So the channel is a very good tool to get on. And if you don't have that particular one, I suggest you get it. It's going to be 20% off tonight, which will help you. And by using this channel, the problem is you come up here and you're starting the channel right here, and then you come right here, so you don't even know where it's going. And then all of a sudden you say you mess up and you bring it up here, and then you thought, oh well, no, it's not it. I need to put it here. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's there. And then you just keep on moving it. So whenever you move it, you're not really sure. You'll be playing a channel that's not even there. How do you trade that with the big pullback? Just wait for a second try. as far as the chop zones, is that what you're referring to? How you trade a chop zone? You trade it just like any support and resistance line. If you break out over it, you get in long. You put your stop right here. So let me make it a little bit bigger. So right here, when we went up, we pushed through. Maybe you have your buy order in here. You have your stop right there. You're going to get stopped out right there. It's going to pull right back down. But if it starts pulling back, just wait. You come down here. Maybe you get in a buy here and put your sell right there. You're really better off, once you see the channel, and the channel plays a big part in a chop zone. When you see that the channel is now going different, like right here, it was going sideways. Right? So this one, and this is a 1 minute chart, we can see that we're just going through here. So what you'll do is as it goes up and it comes down, you get in a buy order, put your stop right below it, and then hope that it goes up. There's no definite way that you can tell if it's going to go long or short. There's just no way. The only thing you can do is play it best you can. Now, when you have a bullish channel like this one, so you'd come over here, you have your pivot here, so it's going sideways and then it changes here, so your pivot's there, and then you draw this up. Right here, you've already determined that you're going to go up. So what you do is when this goes up to here, maybe you got stopped out there, but the best place to get in is right off of this channel. And then you hop in down here, you get stopped out, you come down here, you hop in another long. This is where the channel tool comes in handy. So once you've actually made a point to where you know this is the channel, when it goes up to here, maybe you don't get in because you're close to here, you wait on it to pull back, you get in, and let's just say you got in right here, and you stayed in all the way to the top. Hypothetical, of course. So you didn't get in there, but you got in, say, right in here. So if you got in here and you played it till, say, this one here, that's $6,000. That is from 3 o'clock today, Eastern Time, to 4 o'clock today. That's 1 hour, $6,000. If you have this channel tool, that's going to help you be able to do that. Without the channel tool, you're second guessing yourself. Now using the chop zones, you kind of have an idea where it's going to go. You might have got in, say you got up here and it pulled back to here and then come up, and maybe it started pulling back here. So maybe you just went ahead and sold right here. There's $5,500 or $5,100 right there. 1 hour trading. So that's 1 hour trading, and that's how you use the chop zones. It's just like a support and resistance. Let's see here. Did I lose everybody? Still here. Well, for some reason, it shows that there's a bunch of people here, but it don't show the names, and I don't know why. Okay, good. Oh, Bucko. Glad to see you, buddy. Been a while. You need to get back in our Discord and hang out with us. Love seeing you, buddy. I like talking to you. You're a good guy. So this is how the channel works, and that's how the chop zones work. So now we understand that. So I'm going to go ahead and click out of that. Let's see, what else could I teach you tonight? I try to keep this to about an hour. We're about 10 minutes away right now. And let's see, let me think of something else I could teach you real quick. I'll teach you pullbacks. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all this. You understand that. Now, a lot of people get into a trade and they think, well, where's this? How do I know that this is going to be here? This is a perfect example. Well, how I know is I use Fibonacci. And I go from the bottom down here, and I go to the top up there. And right there is where I'm looking for it to pull back to. Usually it will pull back down into it or just a little bit before it will take off. This one never. And that's how I find out I use Fibonacci. Profit Finder bars, and is there any discount on those? I tell you what, I'll show them to you tonight just real quick. I can't go into a full detail because we're at the end. I'll throw it in as a discount tonight. I'll put 20% off on it. How's that? Through midnight tonight. Profit Finder bars. The Profit Finder bars in the Profit Finder are the really good. Oops, that's the wrong one. Really good indicators. A lot of people use them. Let's see here. We go into right there and right here. Okay. Use default settings. You don't need to change all that. Let's see. Got to make this work so I can buy the indicator from Saturday night. They're only on sale tonight, buddy. And let's see, the Profit Finder bars, up here you have to turn the bars on the bottom. So we're going to turn that one on, that one, that one, that one. So it depends on how you trade. I like to trade it on a 1 minute chart, and I like to use the seconds right here, and I will put that on a 30-second bar, and I will put this one on a 45-second bar, and I will put this one on a minute, but a 3 minute. And then I will use a 5 minute. So I'm using a 30-second, 45, 3, and a 5. Make sure I got those on right. It takes a second because there's a lot of calculation to this. Why did that not come on? That should have came on. I don't know why my chart's not doing it. Let's see. There's let me reset my chart here. Why did that not come on? There's my bars. They're turned on. Wouldn't you figure? Let's see here. Let me go to this right here. Template, load, Profit Finder. There's the Profit Finder. And then let me add the Profit Finder bars again. There we go. And then we're going to enable that one. Enable that one. That one. And this one. Alright, so this one's going to be a 5 minute. And this one is going to be a 3 minute. And this one's going to be a second. I think I had the wrong Profit Finder, or the bars on there. I think that's what it was. I had two different ones. Let's see, tick, reversal, attention, push. And that one's going to be there is the second. And there's the period, so that one's going to be 45. And then this one is going to be the second. Period is going to be 30. Alright. So the way this works, I use it with candles. And I've got it in the training as the line. And the reason I do is because it takes less off the chart. Now, actually we use the mover works really good with it too. I like the mover with about everything. But I'm going to change this to a candle. And I can't go into a lot of depth on this, but I'm going to give you in a nutshell how it works. So the very first signal is you look for the color change. This one went from red to green. So that's our first signal. And then we wait on it to pull back into the mover. or not the mover, but the profit finder. But we want that to be real quick. We don't want it way up here. So we're going to cancel this one out. Right here, we changed the green. We went up. We pulled right back down into it. When we pull back into it, we enter on the next closed candle. So right there, we have, these are called floaters. And the reason they're called floaters is because they are floating above the green profit finder. So we turn green here. We have at least one floater, which we have one here, here. We only need one. When we have one floater, then it pulls back. We get in. After it pulls back down and closes, we get in on the next candle. If we come straight down and we have two more collars down here of the same. So since this is a green one, we have two green here. We enter long. So on this one, you would actually enter. On that one come down, you would enter right here. Actually, it would enter right there. And then as this goes up, you would stay in until the candle drops below this right here, which is actually right there. So there's $5,100 on that trade. And that's how this works. So there's 5 steps. 1, you have a collar change. 2, you have a floater. 3, you pull back into the indicator. 4, you have to have at least 2 more collars of the same color of this indicator. And then 5, you enter along. And then the exit is when this candle drops below this profit finder. Now, another thing that several of us have done is we run the mover indicator as well. The mover's on sale tonight as well. So the mover indicator, if you have it up there, if this candle closes below it, we take profit. So we have found that for the most part, is usually pretty accurate. None of these are closing below right here. This one did. So you would actually be out of the trade, actually way back here. Now there's your entry. You would be out of the trade right here if you played off of the mover. If you played off of the profit finder, you would not exit until you saw this wick come down below. I'll make it a little bigger so you can see the wick. When that wick come down, that is your exit, because your exit will follow right across the bottom of each one of these profit finder bars. And that's how it works. So this one, you had made $5,100. And your entry would have been at 246 today, and your exit would have been 344. So 1 hour, you get $5,100. Now these two, there is a bundle. If you buy both of these together, you get them cheaper than if you just buy one. I would not, me personally, I would not trade this profit finder or indicator without these bars. These bars are confirmation. If you don't have the bars with this, you're really shooting darts. I mean, like right here, you have this one. You know, you could have got in right there and just say you didn't wait on the pullbacks and everything. You just got in green here, then you got in red. You'd lost money here. You'd have made money here. But if you would have got out back in here, maybe you didn't, because this one didn't turn green until about right here. And then you come over here. So unless you played the 5 steps, you know, where you got a collar change, you got a floater, you got the pull back into it, and then once you pull back into it, then you got to look for your collar change. You got to have 2 more down here of that, the same collar, so you got 3 of 5, and then you take whatever it is, long or short, and then your exit is going to be right at the bottom of these candles right here. Now, I'm going to show you this without the candles. We're going to go into the line. You can see that, but I personally like the candles. It's a lot more on the screen, and I teach it as the line because most people can't, most people get confused about candles. So a line is just really easier for most people to learn from. I like a candle. It's a lot more on the screen. I mean, this right here looks real pretty. It don't look bad. This one, it gums it up, and a lot of people just can't see chart with those candles, but I like the candles. I also like the mover because if I see the mover starting to go sideways, I know that we are about to, start pulling back. But in a nutshell, that's how it works. I will do a training just on this one night and show how it goes in a little more detail. But for the most part, that's how it works, and it does a good job. When you buy this, you get a tutorial that is in the course so that you can actually watch it. I have a lot of videos on it. I think one of them's like 2 hours. And there's a guy in our group right now. He's sniffling all the way through because it was live. He had a cold or something. He's sniffling all the way through. So anyway, he's in here right now. I don't say names. So that's how this one works. And I'll put that on the I'll put it on the list tonight. I'll let you have a discount tonight. I don't know when I'm going to put this on a training. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but that's how you trade it. $5,000 in 1 hour today on a $1,000 trade. So we're after the 1 hour. We're actually right on the 1 hour. I was trying to think if there's something else. I mentioned about the pullbacks. I showed you that. And then I did the chop zones. And I think that's about it. I put the courses. Let me pull it up here. So this right here is the website you'd go to. It's 5moneyllc.com/training chart. Go there, and I've got the SpyBot channel on here. You can buy it. I've also got Chart Like a Pro. I go over a lot more information about how to trade, how to do your, and that's one thing I didn't show, and I'll show that right now. Trend lines. Everybody likes to know a trend line. And like your supports, resistance, and stuff. But when you're trading, I'm gonna show you this real quick. You can go over here to grab your line, and you can go right on up through here. So when you get a line, a trend line, you got, and I trade off the wicks. I don't trade off the body. So when you trade off of this wick and you come up and hit that one, when you break through that, that's a good indication that you are done with this trend and it starts off. So you can draw trend lines anywhere. This one right here, go right there. Your trend would actually be based off of that one. This one broke through a little bit and then finally it came through. Let's go to real time. Let's look right now. This right here is, man, that's just awful trading tonight. But we're looking at a trend line of, say, right here and to right here. So we've got all of these. We've got that one. We got that one come down. And then finally, we just kind of went along and then finally we broke out. So trend lines actually works really well. I still draw a lot of trend lines. I like the efforts or the less effort of drawing. What happened to that thing? I like the less effort of just going ahead and grabbing this and drawing it out. See how that thing put it right on the red line and then it dropped out? So your channel actually picked that trend right on up and you didn't have to look for anything. I mean, look at this. All I did was grab the channel chart. I just picked an area. I'll put it up here. And then I just drug it over. And I'm down here even. See how that does? So it's less effort. You can't mess it up. All you have to do is just click over here somewhere and then click over here and just kind of move it around until you see everything line up. This is a game changer. It is a game changer. I started using this here in the last couple of weeks. I love it. It's much better than that other one where you got to try to find your places and everything. It's just not any good. This right here is just, it's almost like a magnet. It finds your trend. It's hard to mess it up. So if you're having a hard time charting, this will really help you out. So, and then I'll go back over here to the chart. I have a Chart Like a Pro course. And if you want to buy several of these, send me a message. Go right up here to the contact. Send me a message if you're wanting to buy more than one thing or whichever, and maybe I'll work out a little better deal for you, make it a little bit cheaper. And I want everybody to get the right tools to be able to trade properly. And I will add the Profit Finder bars and the Profit Finder indicator to this tonight. The code, remember, is, let me go back to it here. I don't say the coupon code on here, and I'm going to quit putting it in the, let's see, right there. There is the coupon code, 20% off. Anything that's going to be on this page, you'll have 20% off. So, and I'll add that Profit Finder and stuff to it as soon as I hang up and get that on there for you. So that'll help you save some money tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast now unless anybody's got any question real quick. It looks like several of you, big kudos. I appreciate that. It's all free. The only thing it costs you is if you buy any products or anything. What kind of question you have? Appreciate it. Have a good night. Biggie, what's your question, man? And I'll try to help you right now. It is recorded, yes. It'll be on that page that I just posted. That's where it'll be. Yes, I need to take a break before I get into a conversation. But give me a few minutes and I'll talk to you. But I will upload this video tonight and get it on that website so you can rewatch it. And Vicky, I'll give you a shout. I don't give me 15-20 minutes or so. I need to take a little break. Well, guys, you all have a good night. I appreciate you all for showing up.